Hi, my name's Sean and I'm a driving instructor who does some work with PassMeFast. And I've got some questions here that people have been asking, and thank you very much for sending them in. So I'm going to read the question and then give you my thoughts on the answer. First question, how many lessons do people take to pass their test? So ultimately, it depends on your experience. If you've done no driving at all, then you're going to need more than someone who's done some driving perhaps in the past or is doing a bit of a top-up. But basically, I would look at doing more lessons than you think you need. If you think you need 30, that would do, I'd get 40, just to be sure, like an insurance policy. And these days, with the huge backlog with tests and so on, the availability of them, you don't want to fail. It's imperative that you pass because you'll have a long wait otherwise to spend more money on more lessons. So I'd invest in it and do that bit extra to what you think you might need initially. Number 2, what's the best way to overcome nerves when learning to drive? The first thing is, as a driving pupil, you need to make it clear to your instructor that you are nervous about certain things and be specific about what it is that worries you, and ask, can you repeat that and do that again until you feel confident with it, and then move on to the next stage. Because after all, your lessons should be pupil focused, pupil centered. You're in charge, you're the boss. Make sure you get what you want so that you feel really confident going forward. Number 4, I need help with clutch control. Any tips? Well, everybody needs help with clutch control as they go into the beginning of their driving. First thing I would say is that you just use your clutch. Don't worry about adding any fuel to the fire. Just keep it using that pedal. So what you would do is you'd be stopped with your instructor and have your handbrake on, you're parked at the side of the road, lift your clutch, you put it into gear, of course, in first gear, then lift your clutch gently. And what you should do is look at the bonnet of the car that you're sitting in, and it should rise up slightly, a bit like an angry cat arching its back. Once it rises like that, freeze your foot there. At that point then, once you've done your checks to move off, you can release your handbrake, push it to the floor, and then the car should move. If it doesn't, bring that clutch up about 1 millimetre. Just think tiny, tiny amounts, and then you'll begin to move. If you're moving already, hold on to that clutch for a slow count of 2. And as you gain some momentum, you count 1, 2, and then just gently lift your foot away and you'll be smooth. That time absorbs any kind of little bounce that you might have if you bring the clutch up too quickly. So I hope that helps. And what are the most common faults that I see? Things like not checking your mirrors sufficiently well, not checking your blind spot before you're moving off, signal timing, being too close to vehicles parked on the left, getting a bit too quickly. Another one is putting it in the wrong gear. So a lot of pupils, sometimes they'll be in first gear and they're moving along, they want to go to second gear, and they just pull the stick back and it ends up in 4th gear. Of course, the car bounces around in a bit of a wobbly way because it wants 2nd gear. So what I teach people to do is to think about the positioning of their hand when they're changing gears. So if you're putting into 1st gear or 2nd gear, you should have your thumb pointing to the floor. So when you push to 1st gear, you're pushing away from your body. So you have that weight of your body pushing away, and then push away with your thumb down to 2nd gear. Then for 3rd and 4th, turn your hand over, thumb up, and then straight forward into 3rd, and straight back into 4th gear. So your thumb down 1st and 2nd, thumb up 3rd and 4th. And then the stick will go where you tell it to go, not where it wants to go itself, because it will take the easiest route to the next gear. Okay, number 6. Do you have any tips for test day? Firstly, I would treat it like another lesson. It's just a different person in the car with you. Think of each moment by moment. Don't think about the end of the test. Don't think about the end of the manoeuvre. Think about the next moment. Just deal with that and then deal with the next one, and you put your puzzle together and you'll find yourself feeling comfortable and confident as you drive along, rather than thinking about too many other things. What manoeuvre are they going to give me? Am I going to get sat nav? What's the speed limit in this road? If you take each moment, you'll find these things. You'll see the speed signs and that sort of thing. And finally, number 7, did I pass my test first time? Yes, I did. I passed my test when I was 17, back in Australia a very long time ago. But then I retested it to become an instructor, and yeah, I passed my test again, first time, thankfully, because it's a pain if you have to go and do it again. Okay, all the very best of luck. Thank you for having me.